Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Ready to explore some seriously cool stuff today.
Always.
This time, we're going deep into the world of AI.
And not just the techie side of things.
Right, we're talking about how AI can actually make our lives better, real-world stuff.
Yeah, the potential here is massive. I mean, just look at the progress in the last few years. It's crazy.
Totally. And speaking of potential, our listener sent in some seriously fascinating articles. Quantum AI, AI in warfare, and even get this, AI that can understand human emotions.
Oh, yeah, those are hot topics for sure. Each one is kind of pushing the boundaries of what we thought AI could do.
Exactly. Okay, so let's dive right in, shall we? Quantum AI, it sounds like something straight out of Star Trek, to be honest. Quantum mechanics and AI, how do those two even go together?
It might sound like sci-fi, but quantum AI is actually a real thing, and it's moving fast. Basically, it's like merging quantum computing with, artificial intelligence.
Okay, stay with me here.
You got it.
So quantum computing, that's where my brain starts to melt a little bit. It's all about qubits and superposition, right? Can you break that down for us non-physicists?
Absolutely. So think of it like this. Imagine flipping two coins at the same time. No matter how far apart they are, if one lands heads, the other will always land tails. That's kind of like entanglement. It's where these qubits are linked and can influence each other instantly, even across huge distances. And this lets them explore tons of possibilities all at the same time, which is what gives quantum computers that crazy speed advantage.
So instead of trying each solution one at a time, it can explore like all the options at once.
Exactly.
That's wild. But I'm still a bit fuzzy on how AI fits into this picture.
Okay, imagine you have a chef, right?
Yeah.
And they've got a limited pantry. They can only cook with what they have. Traditional AI, that's our chef with the limited pantry. Now, quantum AI, that's our chef with access to like this infinite pantry of possibilities.
Ooh, I like that.
So it can tackle problems that are way too complex for regular computers, like simulating how molecules interact, which is super helpful for drug discovery.
Oh, wow. So instead of testing thousands of compounds randomly, quantum AI could be like, boom, here's the exact molecule you need to target, say, a specific cancer cell.
Exactly.
That's incredible. Yeah. And it's not just cancer, right? We're talking about any disease with complex molecular stuff going on.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, Parkinson's could all potentially benefit from this.
You got it. It could totally revolutionize medicine as we know it.
It's almost hard to grasp the scale of the impact. We're talking about possibly curing diseases that we thought were, like, incurable.
It is mind-blowing.
Are there other areas where quantum AI could be this game-changing?
Absolutely. Think about designing materials with specific properties, like a super strong but lightweight alloy for spacecraft, or building materials that can handle crazy temperatures. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
It sounds almost too good to be true. There got to be some challenges or limitations to this tech, right?
Of course, nothing's perfect. One of the big ones is how fragile these qubits are. They're super sensitive to anything in the environment, which can mess up calculations. Building and keeping these quantum computers running takes incredibly precise engineering and a super controlled environment.
So it's not just about building bigger and better quantum computers.
Right.
We also need to figure out how to make them stable and reliable, too.
Exactly. And on top of that, we need to develop algorithms that can actually use the power of quantum computing. It's a whole new way of thinking about computing, and we're still figuring it all out.
Got it. So quantum AI is still in its early stages, but the potential is enormous. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about something a bit more, well, grounded, but no less controversial. AI in warfare.
This is a big one. AI is already having a big impact in this area, and the ethical implications are, well, they're huge. We're talking about autonomous weapon systems, basically machines that can make life or death decisions on the battlefield without a human calling the shots.
Okay, yeah, that's a little scary. Can you give our listener an idea of what these autonomous weapon systems look like? How do they actually work?
Imagine a drone, right? But it's not just remotely controlled. This drone can actually analyze a situation, figure out the targets, and engage them all on its own, based on the rules and objectives it's been programmed with.
So it's like having a super skilled soldier, but one that doesn't get tired or scared.
And can react way faster than any human.
Wow. Okay, I can see how that kind of technology would be appealing from a military standpoint. But the idea of machines making life or death decisions, that's seriously unsettling. What are the arguments in favor of using AI in warfare?
People who support it say that AI could actually make war less deadly, at least for human soldiers.
Really?
Yeah, the idea is that if we have machines doing the most dangerous jobs, we could prevent casualties and reduce the risk to human life.
Okay, I see. So the argument is that AI could make war more humane, even if it seems kind of counterintuitive.
Right. And they also say that AI could make warfare more precise, so less collateral damage and fewer civilian casualties.
I see. But what about the risks, like unintended consequences? What happens if an AI system malfunctions or misinterprets a situation? Could that lead to even more loss of life?
Yeah, those are totally valid concerns. And there's a lot of debate right now about how to minimize those risks. Some experts think we need clear ethical guidelines, international rules for developing and using these autonomous weapons. Others say we should just ban them outright before it's too late.
It feels like we're at a crossroads with this tech.
I agree.
On the one hand, there's this potential to save lives and make warfare less destructive. But on the other, there's the risk of creating machines that could make catastrophic mistakes with, like, really terrible consequences.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
And the decisions we make today about AI and warfare, those decisions are going to have a huge impact on the future. Like, for all of humanity. This is heavy stuff, but it's so important that we're having these conversations. AI is changing the world around us incredibly fast.
Yeah.
And we need to be aware of both its potential and the risks that come with it.
Couldn't agree more. It's on us to make sure AI is used for good and that we're not creating technologies that could end up harming us.
Well said. Speaking of AI that could kind of blur the lines between human and machine, our next topic takes us into the world of emotional AI. Can a machine really understand and respond to human emotions? Let's find out after a quick. Actually, you know what? Let's just keep going. I'm too intrigued to wait.
Sounds good to me. Let's dive in. Emotional AI, or affective computing, it's pretty wild stuff. We're talking about AI that can analyze things like facial expressions and voice tone.
Oh, wow.
Even physiological signals, heart rate and all that, all to figure out a person's emotional state.
So like a lie detector, but for all emotions.
Kind of like that, but way more nuanced. Think about it in an AI-powered therapist, right? It could not only listen to your problems, but actually sense your underlying emotions and adjust how it responds. Like if you're feeling down, it could offer comfort.
That's amazing.
Right. Or if you're anxious, it could challenge those negative thought patterns you might have.
I can see that being so helpful for people who don't have access to traditional therapy or maybe feel more comfortable talking to, a virtual assistant. Are there other ways emotional AI is being explored?
Oh, yeah. Tons. AI tutors, for instance.
Yeah.
They could pick up on a student's frustration and offer support tailored to them.
Interesting.
Or customer service chatbots that can de-escalate a tense situation, respond with empathy and understanding.
So making our interactions with technology way more human.
Exactly.
I like it. But what about the downsides? Are there any concerns about, AI having access to our emotions? Seems like that could be misused pretty easily.
You're not wrong. The ethical side of things is super important here. Privacy is a big one. Like, who owns our emotional data?
Yeah.
How is it collected and stored? How is it being used?
Good points.
And are there safeguards to prevent it from being misused or abused?
We need to be careful there for sure.
Absolutely. And then there's manipulation. If AI can understand our emotions, could it also use them against us?
Like how?
Well, imagine advertisers using emotional AI to target us with personalized messages that are meant to, trigger certain emotions.
Influence our buying decisions.
Exactly. So, yeah, we need to be really cautious about giving AI too much power over our emotional lives. It's a delicate balance.
It is. But emotional AI could also be incredibly beneficial if we do it right.
Totally. We need to approach its development and use with a lot of enthusiasm, but also a healthy dose of skepticism.
So asking the tough questions and having these conversations now before it's too late.
Exactly.
But how does emotional AI actually work? Like, can a machine really understand something as complex and subjective as human emotion?
That's a question that's keeping both philosophers and AI researchers up at night. Some say that to truly have empathy, you need consciousness and self-awareness, things that machines just don't have.
So it's more like AI is simulating empathy, not actually feeling it.
That's one way to look at it. But even if it's just mimicking, it can still make a difference in our lives. Think about it. Sometimes all we need is someone to listen, right? To acknowledge how we're feeling and offer a little support. And an AI companion that can do that, even if it's not true empathy, can still be comforting, especially to people who are lonely.
I see what you mean. Like a placebo effect almost.
Right. If we believe that AI understands us, it can still have a positive impact on us.
But it does bring up some big questions about what consciousness is, and if machines can ever really feel emotions like we do.
And those are questions that'll keep being debated as AI gets more and more advanced. But I think for now, we should focus on the practical side. How can we use it to make things better?
And how can we make sure it's used ethically and responsibly? This has been a fascinating conversation. Quantum AI, AI in warfare, and now emotional AI. We've covered so much ground today.
It's crazy to think about how wide-reaching AI's impact could be.
One thing that's really stood out to me is that AI isn't some far-off futuristic thing anymore. It's here now. It's already changing how we live in huge ways.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's everywhere. Our phones, cars, houses, even in healthcare.
Right. It's doing everything from recommending what we should watch to helping doctors diagnose illnesses.
It's becoming kind of like an invisible force, you know?
Yeah.
Like electricity or the internet. We don't always see it, but we rely on it all the time.
Perfect analogy. And just like those things, AI has the power to make things better, but also to create new problems.
It's a tool at the end of the day. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It depends on us, on our choices, on our values, and how we decide to develop and use this technology.
So what can our listener do to be a part of this and help shape the future of AI in a good way?
Well, first things first, stay informed. Read up on AI. Learn what it can do, what it can't do, and think critically about how it could affect us. The more we understand, the better decisions we can make about how to use it.
It's like learning to drive. Before you get behind the wheel, you need to know the rules of the road, how the car works, and the dangers. Education is key.
Exactly. And just like we have driver's ed and traffic laws to keep people safe, we need ethical guidelines and regulations to make sure AI is used responsibly.
So what can our listener do to make sure that happens?
Lots of things. Support groups that are working on AI ethics, reach out to your representatives and voice your concerns and talk about AI with your friends, family, and coworkers. The more we talk about it, the better chance we have of creating a future where AI is used for good.
So it's not just up to experts and policymakers, it's about all of us speaking up.
Exactly. And remember, the future of AI isn't just about technology, it's about us. It's about how we use this powerful tool to build a better world for ourselves and future generations.
That's a great point. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about humanity.
Exactly.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the transformative potential of AI. We hope it's been as thought-provoking for you as it has been for us.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Wow, what a journey. From quantum AI to the battlefield and now, the very heart of human emotion. It's mind-blowing to think about just how much AI could change our world.
Totally agree. It's been a wild ride for sure. And one thing that's really hit home for me is how AI isn't just some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's here, it's happening now, and it's already shaping our lives in huge ways.
It really is. It's like AI is becoming this invisible source, kind of like, electricity or the internet. We don't always see it, but we rely on it constantly.
Perfect analogy. And just like those things, AI has this incredible potential, but it also comes with its own set of challenges, you know?
Absolutely. AI is a tool. And just like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It all comes down to us, to the choices we make, our values, and how we decide to develop and use this technology. It's a big responsibility.
It really is. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's being shaped right now by the actions we take, the conversations we have, and the ethical boundaries we set.
So what does all this mean for our listener? What can they do to be a part of this, help steer AI in a positive direction?
Well, the most important thing is to stay informed. Read about AI, learn about its capabilities, but also its limitations, and be a part of thoughtful discussions about its potential impact. The more we all understand, the better equipped we'll be to make smart choices about how we use it.
Education is key, just like learning to drive. Before you get behind the wheel, you need to learn the rules of the road, how the car works, and what can go wrong.
Exactly. And just like we have driver's ed and traffic laws to keep things safe, we need ethical guidelines and regulations to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly.
So what can our listener do to help make sure that happens?
Well, they can support organizations working on AI ethics, reach out to their elected officials and let them know their concerns, and just talk about AI with their friends, family, coworkers. The more we talk about it, the better chance we have of creating a future where AI is used for good.
It's not just about experts and policymakers. It's about all of us having a voice. So to wrap things up, the future of AI isn't just about the tech. It's about humanity.
Exactly.
It's about using this incredibly powerful tool to build a better world. A better world for ourselves and for generations to come. Well, on that note, it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the amazing world of AI. We hope you found it as thought-provoking and, well, kind of mind-blowing as we have.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you'll continue to explore, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
And remember, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together. Until next time.